On today's Smart 7, the Partygate report faces a vote, Russia warns the West and lots more. It's Monday the 19th of June, it's World Sickle Cell Day and happy birthday Boris Johnson. Anything special planned? Any parties, mate?
The Smart 7. It's news, but
Not the news. Saturday saw Boris Johnson start a new job as a columnist with noted Boris Johnson supporter the Daily Mail. He used his first column to ruminate about late-night cheddar and chorizo and why weight loss drugs didn't work for him. But he also took time to advise Tory MPs who face a vote on the Partygate report in the Commons that they're no longer expected to oppose the committee's findings. The Save Boris ship has sailed, it seems, probably not helped by the leaked video of an old Tory HQ party that appeared across the weekend.
As long as we don't
No one seems to know if they serve chorizo and cheese, but Housing Secretary Michael Gove was the one sent out to face the music as those who lost loved ones during the pandemic reacted with horror at the footage.
I am sorry. I do apologise, unreservedly. This particular event, I think, led to an investigation that's already happened.
The BBC let noted historian Simon Sharma put the video and the Tory pandemic partying in context.
It seemed to be so feckless, so irresponsible, and a completely amoral delivery of let the little people suffer. Just pour another glass of Bulgarian Burgundy and have done with it.
Boris's former advisor Samuel Kasumu was asked about his ex-boss's legacy and he may well have come up with something we can all agree on.
Boris Johnson's legacy is of course the vaccine deployment, but it's also some of the nonsense that happened. But it's completely possible to achieve great things and still be a bit of a knob.
Last week saw junior doctors out on strike and now the summer of strikes continues as the teachers' unions have announced they'll pick up the placards again in July. The National Education Union says Wednesday the 5th and Friday the 7th of July will see educators head to the picket lines again, and Joint General Secretary Mary Boosted says the staffing crisis in schools is at a critical point.
It has come to the point where some schools next year will have to send children home because they can't put a teacher in front of the class.
Kevin Courtney, the other Joint General Secretary at the NEU, says the strikes could be avoided if the government would just take action.
Now, there's been a leak from the school teacher review body that they've recommended 6.5% for this year. But so far, the government is sitting on that report. But if Julian Keegan were to publish that report, sit down and negotiate with us, then there are ways of avoiding these strikes.
Ukrainian forces continue to probe Russian lines over the weekend, with some reports of small gains in the south, but no sign as yet of a full-on assault with Western tanks. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov was busy claiming that Russia's plans to demilitarize Ukraine's worked, in that Ukrainians are no longer using their own weapons but rather NATO-supplied ones. He had a warning that Western involvement may well have future consequences.
The countries of the West are getting increasingly involved in the conflict. This leads to the situation in Europe becoming more tense and unpredictable, and of course, this obliges Russia to take more decisive measures to ensure the safety of the Russian Federation.
Meanwhile, on Sunday, Ukrainian MP Lesia Vasilenko spoke to Sophie Ridge on Sky about the toll that the conflict is having on children and families in Ukraine.
As the UK and the world celebrates Father's Day, in Ukraine millions of children are separated from their fathers. So this is just an understanding on a pure human, personal level.
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken landed in Beijing on Sunday morning for his rescheduled meeting with Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Yang. He described the talks as constructive and candid as he kicked off 2 days of meetings with officials intended to improve relations between the US and China. Blinken's boss, Joe Biden, was busy too as he held his first campaign rally with union members in Philadelphia as he kicked off his bid to be re-elected president in 2024.
Hello, organized labor. I'm not a politician in this country who can't say the word union. I'm proud to say the word. I'm proud to be the most pro-union president in American history.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Tom Holland gets emotional about Zendaya and Netflix brings the goodies right after this. Welcome back.
3,
Day 3 of the Ashes at Edgbaston was washed out early afternoon just as it looked like Australia was starting to get momentum. And after a rain-soaked qualifying, the Canadian Grand Prix was a pretty straightforward run for soon-to-be world champion again, Max Verstappen, as Red Bull clocked up their 100th Formula 1 win. Second place saw an almighty battle between two veterans, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, with Alonso pipping Lewis by just 4 seconds to second. Fernando was delighted.
We lost a place at the start with Lewis, and then, it was a battle with the Mercedes, and Lewis was pushing all the race. So I didn't have one lap where I could relax a little bit, so it was an amazing battle.
Tom Holland's been busy exec producing and starring in new Apple TV Plus drama The Crowded Room. He plays a psychologically distraught man accused of a shooting in the series, which has had mixed reviews so far from critics. He's pretty cheerful though at 27, in a relationship with Zendaya, and as the current undefeated Spider-Man he's got lots to look forward to. And he told The Hollywood Reporter he's never met anyone quite like the Euphoria star.
She was the only person auditioning for MJ, and it was such a home run. I was so blown away by how unique her performance was, and obviously I'm very happy that she came in and tested that day. I'm sure you can guess why, but no, she's fantastic.
It's a familiar sound. But Tudum is also the name of Netflix's annual global fan event where they announce about 1 million new shows or series, and it took place this weekend in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So what should you be setting reminders for? Well, there's One Piece, a new Japanese-American live-action series based on the manga series of the same name.
All I need is a loyal crew. And I think together we'd make a pretty good team.
There's a new spy thriller called Heart of Stone that stars Gal Gadot and Jamie Dornan.
We have no idea what they're capable of. I need to shut it all down. Showtime!
There's a ton of second seasons, including Heartstopper, more Squid Game, and bizarrely the real-life Squid Game game show. We'd all better get the popcorn in. You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
At Bombas, we make socks, underwear, and T-shirts that feel good and do good. They feel good because they're designed with the softest materials and comfort innovations. They do good because for every item you purchase, we donate another item to someone who needs it. So far, we at Bombas have donated over 75 million items, and your purchases add to that impact. Go to bombas.com/ACAST and use code ACAST for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/ACAST and use code ACAST at checkout.